I have a favor to ask. I don't care if you don't subscribe to me. I don't even want you to. I don't care if you like the video. You don't have to push like. I'm not asking you to push like. I'm not asking you to subscribe. I want you to share it. I want this video shared. And it's not for view counts. It's not for none of that shit. It's because it's a message that needs to get out. Everybody should be beating the war drum for our veterans. If you're an American citizen, you should be supporting the military veterans. This is a burned out war zone caused by leaders that essentially wanted to play who had a bigger dick contest. Who does these wars? Well, the brave men and women of the United States military, and other militaries across the globe, obviously. They go through the harshest training to essentially turn off whatever is inside their head that would make civilized society not do certain things to other people, like unaliving them and blowing up entire cities and such and such. So they go through this rigorous training and are taught how to unalive people and to not have, basically just to turn that part of their brain off, that they're able to do it. Because of course there's sociopaths, and obviously history has shown itself that people can do crazy things to other people, but in a whole, that's not the case. I mean, that's a part of the brain that has to be trained and kind of rewired, I guess you could say. So they go through rigorous training, even if they're just in infantry, and then they're sent off to fight these wars. Well, one thing about war is the people who are running the war, well, they're nice and cozy back at home, while the soldiers are out there, the grunts, you might will say. They're taking it, and they're seeing things that they never thought they'd see. They're doing things that they never thought they would do. They're holding their buddies as they pass from being hit by enemy fire, shrapnel, whatever. Well, then what happens? The government gives you all this training, the military gives you all this training of how to turn it off and be able to perform and function like a soldier. What happens when that soldier comes home? There's no training on how to turn it back on. For some, it doesn't get turned back on. Or maybe they can't turn it back on. They've seen so much inhumane things that part of their brain is just no longer functioning. And they have things like PTSD, and the problem is they don't get any help. And it's not because they don't want it. It's because it's not available. That is a problem. That is a major problem. I'm going to put up on the screen here what the percentage is of military veterans that are homeless. And what the percentage is of how much veterans make of the homeless population in this country. It's going to blow your mind. It's sickening. No veteran, period, should be sleeping on the streets with a blanket they found in an alley or newspapers or whatever. And when they come back after fighting to give all of us what we have, so people can go out here and protest and wear vagina hats and look like Bobo the Clown, and I'm not just picking on one group of people. It's across the board. It makes people's pockets get real deep. You hear the war drums beating in Capitol Hill. They're not the ones going there. They're the ones profiting from it, though. That's also a problem. And that's been a thing that's gone on for as long as time. People will profit off of war. War is money. That's sad that young men and women go, that, mind you, that aren't even old enough to go buy a mixed drink. Hell, they changed the age of the smoking law, so you can't even smoke a cigarette if you wanted to. And if they have it there, we're going to change the age to vote, so they're not even going to be able to vote. Not that it matters, but yet they are asked. They're not even asked. They are told they're going to go over to wherever they're going and eliminate the enemy. But then come back home and then pretend like nothing ever happened. A lot come back. They can't get the help that they need because the VA just either doesn't have the funds or they just don't care. I don't know which. I think it's probably a little bit of both. And that's saddening. And then bad things happen. And they want to blame the person. If you have a mental break, and I can tell you from someone who has mental health issues, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. If you have a mental break, you don't know what the hell is going on. These guys go over there and see their friends blown into pieces. They witness that. They have to unalive people, children then they destroy towns because they're told to. They're doing what they're told to do. But then they're just expected to come back here and live a civilized lifestyle at the snap of a finger. How does anyone do that? How could you do that? I think it'd be pretty damn hard. They come back to a country not with the hero's welcome. If you go back to like Vietnam, those poor soldiers were coming home, people were spitting on them, calling them baby unalivers, this, that, and whatever. And they were over there fighting to make sure that those people had the right to do that to them. What a slap in the face. To come back here, they can't find work. If they do find work, it's some low-paying bullshit job because they spent X amount of time in the military and all they did was infantry stuff, and then they went over there or they come back here and they're hurt and they're missing limbs because of, roadside IEDs and drones flying around, and, that's a big new thing now is just drone technology. The war has changed immensely since World War II, or even Vietnam War. Technology has gone insane. My thought is this. If you have a couple world leaders that want to play who has the bigger dick contest, well, then you know what? Go hash it out. Go have you a cage match or something. The victor is, well, it is what it is. But no. They want to send a bunch of kids over there. And I say kids, they're all adults, don't get me wrong. But they're young people. Their minds are still very impressionable when they would join the military. And then they get wired this way. I've known a lot of people that were in the military that were combat veterans, and 90% of them have issues. Not just mental issues, physical issues. The things they have to endure when they're there. They come back with missing pieces or some kind of strange sandworm shit or, whatever. Because the conditions are horrible. But that's what they're trained to do. But then, like I said, when they get back here, they don't get any help. They're cast away like they were nothing. Walked over the side, people walk past them on the sidewalk every day and won't even look at them. That's disgusting. If you are too much of a highfalutin shithead that you're going to stick your nose up while you see a veteran on the streets, and you stick your nose up and keep walking, you're the worst piece of shit that there is. If you go up and harass some of these veterans, because, you know what? If you have a mental break and you're not firing on all cylinders, you can do some weird shit. I talk to myself. Like I said, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. And then the youth of the nation goes and picks on these people, harasses them, assaults them a lot of times. And these guys are just, they don't really know what's going on. And they could, because they couldn't get the help that they needed. Because they got cast away. Their job was done. They have no more use for them. Right out the window. See you later, bye. That's a disgusting thing. And it should not be that way. If you come back to this country after doing your duty or whatever, I'm not even going to call it a duty. You volunteered and then you were told to go do this, whatever it was. You do that job, whatever that job was, you come back here, you should have to not worry about any type of mental health care, physical health care, a roof over your head. You shouldn't have to worry about any of that. Ever. Ever. Because the United States owes those men and women who fought and gave it their all, gave them blood for this country. The least this country can do is take care of them. They took care of us. When they come back here, they need to be taken care of. And people might say, oh, I'm not a veteran, but I know a lot of them. I've heard stories. I've seen the things that they've been through. It's worse than any movie you'll ever watch. The things, the smells, the sounds, just hearing it, it'll make your bones churn. The thing, just, especially the sounds. I had a couple guys describe to me not necessarily the sounds of war, but the sounds of what happens to the people. The screams, the sudden stopping of screaming, the utter darkness of it all. It's horrifying. And then, like I said, they're expected to come back here and get a job at Home Depot or something and live a, happy, hairy homeowner life. And there are some that do, and kudos to you. But there's a lot that don't. And that's not saying one's better than the other, by no means. Because I'm sure deep down inside, even the ones that come back and re-enter society and do well, I'm sure they're still fighting plenty of demons. Guaranteed. And like I said, that doesn't make one person any better than the other. Maybe one person saw more, dealt with more, had to do more than the other did. They're all heroes when they come back. If you go fight and come back, I don't give a shit. If you're over there cooking, you went out of this country because at the end of the day, you're a soldier first. I don't care if you're cooking noodles. You know what I'm saying? If it was brought to you where you're at, you're going to fight because you're soldier first. So, I don't give a shit if you wrote postcards when you were there. You're still a hero when you come back here. Because you went and did that fight. And as I said, no veteran should be living on the streets, should be worried about mental health care, should be denied any type of mental health care or health or regular health care, physical health care. They should be denied none of that. They shouldn't have to worry about a place to live. They shouldn't have to worry about where they're going to eat next. They shouldn't be in alleyways trying to find old nasty ass, hepatitis infected sheets and blankets to sleep on the goddamn sidewalk while the rest of society walks past them with their nose stuck up at the goddamn air. That's all I got to say. I just wanted to put this video together because my dad and I were actually talking about it the other day, about how shitty veterans get treated in this country. And they can sugarcoat it all they want to on the news or what. Just take a look around. It's not changing. It's getting worse. It's getting worse every day. It's getting worse every single day. And you know what? All those deep-pocketed shitbags, all these warmongers, and I'm not going to mention any names because Lord knows I've already been in trouble enough on YouTube, but it doesn't take much to figure it out. The ones out there beating that war drum, oh, we got to go do this and this and this. You take your sorry ass over there and go do it. If that's what you want to do. Leave them out of it. It's not their war. But they are fighting for this country. Over something that somebody else started. Whether it been this side, that side, or whatever side. Somebody started it, and it wasn't them. Some higher up politician. For whatever reason of maybe making some money, wanting somebody wanting to flex. Because my dick is bigger than yours. Go fight it out yourself. That's all I got to say about it. Hell, most of you people are all, elderly as shit anyway. Grab a wheelchair race or something, I don't know. That's what you want to do. Leave our military out of it. Leave them here. Every time you send all our military out somewhere, you leave us vulnerable. It's a bad thing. And it needs to be addressed. I would like to hear some comments from some veterans to tell me your story. Tell me your story of what you've been through. I would like to see some comments about that. The one thing that I ask of you, of anyone that watches this video, one thing, share this video, please. Please, please, please. I don't know what else to say. Just get this word out. Help our military veterans get off these goddamn streets and get them the help that they need. Write your governors, write your congressmen, call your aldermen. I don't give a shit. Do something. Take 2 minutes out of your day. 2 minutes out of your day could save lives. Even if it's just one. I'm guaranteed that one life will be appreciative. Just take a minute out of your day. 2 minutes, whatever. How fast you can type. Maybe you can do it in a minute, I don't know. And get our veterans the help that they need and deserve. They fought for you. Now it's time for you to fight for them. That's all I got. Until next time, stay true to yourself. Think for yourself. And, hey, we'll see you later.